Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 345. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG4Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Before we get into anything else, Dan, I have a very important PSA for all the fans out there. Little call to action, a little bit of time. If you're not already subscribed to the show on YouTube, please do that. That'll help us out a lot. If please like the clips. Share the clips around. That goes a long way. We're trying to really get our YouTube presence up, and every little bit helps. So just kind of throwing that out there.
Listen, and then you can also go on your friend's YouTube account and subscribe from there too, even without them knowing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
and they can get all that great content, and they'll say, "Hey, came across this great podcast called Rated G for Gamers," and you'll go, "Yeah, I know."
You know. And if you're one of the unlucky people that has to actually go to work, right? Go on your coworkers' computers, go on the YouTube channel and subscribe.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
right?
There you go.
Just figure out their password, log into their computer. It's all good. No, but every little bit helps. You're right.
Yeah. Every little bit helps. So I want to say, I got caught up. We didn't actually talk about this. I got caught up with The Last of Us.
Oh my God! Did you
Right?
waste a box of Kleenex on that last episode? Because, damn, that was tough.
The episode. It was sad. It definitely was sad. I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
I didn't like the episode.
What?
I didn't like the episode.
It was a look into the world. Oh my God! It was so good.
It was a great episode, but I didn't like it. You know what?
Well, how does that work? Then it's not a great episode. Then.
All right. So we're talking in circles. Okay. So spoilers for episode 3. Okay. Well, skip 2 minutes.
All right. We're gonna spend a few minutes going over episode 3, which was related to the game, right? Those characters were in the game, more or less,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. All right. So in 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Okay.
All
right. I hated it only because he actually died. I wanted him to live. I wanted him to live and talk to Ellie and handcuff Ellie just like in the game.
Yeah.
That's why. It was a great episode. Listen, it was a great episode. It was a great look into Frank and Bill's life, because in the game you don't meet Frank.
Right.
Like
you only hear about it, right?
Frank because you see Frank because he committed suicide.
Yeah. Yeah, this was kind of post that. Yeah.
So I knew that was going to happen. I knew it wasn't going to be the same way in the game, because in the game they got into a big argument, and then he was going to take the truck and leave.
Right.
He ended up committing suicide. Right. So I didn't want both of them to die.
I feel you, that's what makes the episode so gut wrenching. when they end up crushing up the thing in the wine, and then they're both drinking the wine, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I poured it in the bottle and mixed it up already. We're both going down together." Essentially, after they have that beautiful dinner. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Let me put it this way. And then I don't want to spend too much time.
Yeah.
If this was just a TV show, right, and we didn't know anything about The Last of Us, it was just TV show. You know, this is the new Walking Dead, right? This would have been this was hands down, like, this is a great episode, like, you know, super sad, awesome, right? Because it's playing off the game, and I know what's kind of going to happen. I don't know what twist they're going to put on it. I really wanted him to talk to Ellie and hear that dialogue, that interaction.
I mean,
with the handcuffed.
Sure.
Yeah, I really wanted that. I was waiting for that.
Sure.
I actually thought that was going to happen towards the end. Okay. So
Okay.
Because of that.
Okay.
Because of that. Because of that, I hated it, but it was a great episode. If that makes sense.
No, I get it now. I get there were you had a set of expectations, and then they were subverted. But you're like, I still wanted to see that thing, right? I wanted to see that thing from the game get played out in the TV show, and it went down a little different. But oh man, yeah, that was the best episode. I'm sorry, that was great. That was great, and the food.
Honestly,
oh my God, I had to make dinner after I saw that episode. I was so hungry.
I honestly thought I thought there was gonna be like a swerve, like he tried to kill himself, and it didn't work. He didn't put enough in it for him, or you know, like, and then he had survivor's remorse, right? Like, and I thought that's why he would be like more cynical and kind of like mean, and like in the game he was like that. So I thought that's what was gonna happen. It didn't happen that way. I was a little disappointed. You know, I'm like, I hated it, but I loved it. It's one of those.
Sure.
But I just want to throw out, you know, rest in peace to the actress who actually played in the first. She was the voice actress in the first Last of Us. You know, I think her name was Annie, right? Anna Welsh.
Wershing?
Like
Annie Wershing?
Wershing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get that right for the nearly departed.
She was Tess. So I hope, you know, like, rest in peace. Like, wow, like she was only 45.
Wow, that's the real heartbreaking thing. Yeah, I forget what the cause was. I know I looked it up at one point because I was like, oh shoot, like that's like real young. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's upsetting, right? Yeah, it's upsetting anybody dies young, you know, whether they're famous or not. But this is someone that we know, and we're kind of going through another adaptation of like one of the most beloved video games of all time, and you know, it kind of hits a little more. So, yeah, rest in peace, Annie.
Yeah. Tess, the first Tess, the real Tess.
True Tess. That's right.
The true Tess. I like that. I like that better. All right, Dave. We have an awesome show this week coming up. We're going to talk about more companies dropping out of E3 2023. Is this it for the E3? Will this be the final hurrah? We'll discuss that. And then also the Xbox Series X and S, it's a price increase in another region. And we'll talk about that as well. But before we get into any of that, let's begin with Gods and Monsters Chapter 1, the new DCU. All right. They had so James Gunn, I keep calling him another. I don't know.
James
I
Gunn,
keep calling him James Cameron in my head. I don't know why. But James Gunn.
Very different. Yeah.
But it's very different. He put out a video sort of discussing the reboot of the DCU, right? And him and, you know, his incredible writing staff, as he puts it, you know, they have this 8 to 10 year sort of, you know, blueprint of what they want to do.
It's a roadmap
between movies, TV shows, comics, and video games, and they want to have continuity with all of them. And they want to have the same actors too. In anime, by the way, they want to have the same actors who play in the movies, voice the actors in the cartoons, and in the video games. So he really wants to have this big continuity.
For people who don't know, or have been living under a rock for the last couple of weeks, James Gunn is the Kevin Feige of the DC universe, right? So he's the guy now, right? He's the one who's kind of like orchestrating all this stuff. So he's kind of cleaning house, right? He's getting rid of the old guard. He's bringing in a whole new lineup. And I got to say, this is pretty ambitious. If you're saying that he wants to link all of the different pieces of media so that they're in one shared universe, like, hard enough with the MCU, right? They got it to where all the movies are in sync. There's a couple of things, a couple of actor changes. They flubbed around and, moved some people around and whatnot, but mostly super cohesive. The TV shows were in the universe, but didn't necessarily have character crossovers. So you didn't see like Iron Man and the Daredevil TV show or whatever else, even though they brought Daredevil.
But they alluded. They alluded to them.
Yeah. Like, they talked about the events. I think in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they mentioned some stuff about that, but they never. And I think a lot of it was budget. You're not going to be able to get.
No. To be fair, Samuel L. Jackson did appear in I think one episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, to do to kind of bridge the two universes, for sure. But that requires a lot of money. So I don't think it was for a lack of wanting, right? They certainly wanted to get all those people in, but it's very expensive, and you kind of got to tell your own story in some way too. You can't just rely on big name story power to end your season, right? You can't just say hey, Chris Hemsworth, come here. You're gonna be the special guest on this last episode, and that's gonna carry us through.
Well, James also, he also said Henry Cavill, who played Superman,
mm-hmm.
he wasn't fired. He just wasn't hired. He just wasn't hired.
Right.
He
was laid off. I guess
fired him.
He was laid off.
Yeah, and apparently the person who was the head of the DCU, the old guard,
mm-hmm.
right? I think he said it was just terrible, and he had to clean house, which is why he wanted to clean house, because nobody was in sync. Nobody, was on the same page.
Yeah,
so that makes sense, and I understand. And they do have movies coming out
mm-hmm.
already, right? Like you got, the Flash movie will reset the DCU. Right, so there's going to be Doctor Strange with the multiverse. I think that's what's going to happen here. Right?
Now
we got Aquaman 2.
Hold up.
Well, Aquaman 2 will be he's still going to be Aquaman. I think he's going to work his way into the new DC.
So Jason Momoa's old guard coming into the new thing. Well, what I want to know about the Flash movie
and Shazam.
Okay, Shazam.
He even said, James Gunn even said, Shazam has been doing his own thing, so so we can sort of bring him in, right? Like you never seen Superman, you never seen Batman, you never seen anybody in the Shazam movies, so it would be easier, to bring them in.
But the question I want to know, because the Flash is the cornerstone now that's kicking everything off. The Flash stars Ezra Miller.
Yeah, that movie's done, and he said he's seen the movie and it's fantastic.
It may be. That actor's trash.
That's irrelevant.
I'd have to make a new entry on the Dave scale. Well, if you want to look at the movie objectively, sure, right? Separate the art from the artist. You want to go down that road. I agree. I'm just saying it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. I don't think people can necessarily separate the two, because Ezra Miller's not a good dude. So I guess he's going to be continuing his role then as the Flash. He needs to get worked into the new.
I don't think so. I think the Flash movie, whatever they have to reset the DCU, will
mm-hmm.
reset everything.
Oh, so I
think they'll work him out.
Because they already cut it. They're like, well, we have this thing. Let's find a way to use it. Flash with the multiverse, right? The Doctor Strange style thing. And then they can bring in whoever and oh, here's this other Flash. And then he is the Flash for the new DCU. Okay. I could see that. I think they're going to have to do that, because I don't think he can. I don't think the actor can be on the straight and narrow till his next movie appearance, right? Because if they're doing this whole structured thing, they have an overarching story plot. They're doing a Justice League thing eventually, probably again a team up thing. It's going to be tough, which is sad, because I liked him as the character, but I don't know.
No, but I like where they're going,
mm-hmm.
just from the announcements. like we never get a new Superman called Superman Legacy. They have a release date, July 11th, 2025. I mean, they haven't shot it yet, and they have a release date, right?
Yeah. Which means they're gonna start filming like now. They have to be in at least pre-production.
He said they're still working on a script. So if it's going to come out in 2025, it needs to be wrapped by 2024, which means they can shoot it. Maybe
they have to shoot it now. We're already 2 months into the 2023. So that's a little tight.
Yeah, but I think so. Okay, we got that. We got The Brave and the Bold. Right, that's a Batman.
That's classic, right? Series. They made an animated one out of that, right? It's just fantastic.
They did make an animated one. It's going to be with Damian Wayne as Robin, right? To have that father and son connection, and that whole Brave and the Bold was just a crossover stories with Batman, his son, and crossing over into other DC stories, right? So that makes sense. It's probably going to be, a Batman movie where we're going to see other people come in, right? Because it's going to be a crossover, or see cameos. We may not see them. They may not be prevalent in the movie. It may be just cameos, right? And then we'll get something a movie. Batman introduces them, and then they get their own movie.
That's how you do it. You got to get people like, who is this character, right? You got to have some sort of intro. Yeah. Right? Doesn't need to be a full-on backstory, but you got to care about the character. Who is this person? Where did he come from? Right? Something. Yeah.
We got Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, right? Is going to explore how she was on, Krypton, and then it exploded, and she found her way to Earth, and she didn't have this great upbringing, with Earthlings like Superman or Clark Kent did.
Now, is that a movie, or is that a TV series? I'm curious.
No, it's going to be a movie.
Hallelujah. There's not enough female-led superhero movies, and there should be, because Supergirl's awesome. All right? I think she's pretty solid.
Well, I kind of, this is, again, how Marvel has, phase 1, phase 2. So this is chapter 1. It's called God and Monsters. So I guess it's going to explore, people's powers and, are they monsters? Are they good? Are they evil? Type of thing. Right? I mean, I wonder where Wonder Woman's going to fit into all of this, because they scrapped Wonder Woman 3 because he's just going to recast the whole, that whole role, that whole universe.
Well, part 2 was terrible. I mean, Gal Gadot was great as Wonder Woman. Part 2 was terrible. 1984?
Part 2. Yeah. Part 2 was bad. It was pretty bad.
It's terrible.
We had Swamp Thing rated. It was going to be a rated R movie, right? Potentially a rated R movie, he said. And then he said a lot. I'm pulling the main things I got from everything he said from the whole list. I'm not saying the whole list. And lastly, TV shows. He has a Lantern TV show, TV series that'll be in the works, where it'll explore two different Green Lanterns. Right. So, I'm digging it. I'm following it. I'm excited for it. And I think we need to take this approach for DC, because Marvel never had, other than Spider-Man, because Spider-Man was like their big character, right? We know Batman, we know Superman, we know Wonder Woman, right? Like, we know Robin. They always had like these big characters, but all the supporting cast, the B characters, the C characters, even the D character, you don't know any of those guys.
No,
right?
No.
You don't know any of those guys. I mean, Iron Man is a big thing now, but if I would have said Iron Man 10 years ago, I would have said, I know Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people knew Iron Man, but it wasn't like Iron Man. He was Iron Man. Yeah, he was a comic book.
He was a B-tier superhero at best. All right. And I'm not disparaging him. Iron Man is great. I love the backstory, but it just wasn't a known property like that. Yeah. Until Robert Downey brought him into the zeitgeist.
Iron Man. Yeah, but it was a B character that people kind of like, oh yeah, that was that Marvel thing, right? Like that comic book I read when I was a kid. If I say Lobo, if I say, hey, you know Lobo?
Yeah. I know Lobo.
You're like, who?
I know.
Well, you know Lobo. Most people are like, who's Lobo? What's Lobo? Right?
It's a little bit of a deep cut. Yeah, exactly. They haven't done much with him. Although Lobo did get his own video game. I will say that. To get his own.
He was in an animated series too. He made a couple appearances in an animated series.
Right. So I mean, he's been around a little bit.
Enough about the DCU. I figured we always talk about Marvel. We even but back early when we first did the show, I think maybe episode 50, 60, we did a whole show about Batman v Superman the movie.
It was early.
We both saw it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was early on. So.
Yep.
So I thought we'd do it justice by talking about the DCU Star.
I see what you did there. You do it justice. It's good.
All right, some sad news.
Mm-hmm.
Knockout City, a game that was promoted, hyped up. I don't even know if it's been out for a year. Maybe it's been out for a year and a half. You played it.
Been
I
out
haven't
since last
played it.
year. Yeah.
It is now going to be shutting down after. I think they said season 9. They're going to be shutting everything down.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So
I know it's
well,
is
go
it
ahead.
on Games Pass? It's on Games Pass, right?
Sure
You
is.
Played it.
Sure is. Yeah.
All right, so I think I got to download it and play it. Give it a go on Games Pass before they shut it down.
Yeah, well, the thing of it is, like, hey, it's a really good game, right? It's dodgeball in a big city. The mechanics are good. You know, it's easy to play. It's fairly deep. They were great with the content updates. You know, putting out like not even just like pay stuff, but like new levels, new ball powers. Right? They really did their best to support it. The latest thing that they did, there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover. You could play as the turtles in the game, and there was some other cosmetics and whatnot. Like that was all really cool. And you know, me and like a couple of friends would play every now and again. You know, we were playing on PlayStation, but still, it's the same game on both systems. You could play on PC too, I think. And it was really good.
You played it on PlayStation. Is it on PS Plus?
I don't know.
PS Plus?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it may be. But the thing of it is that the thing that really gets me is EA is shutting it down. EA is obviously not making enough money on it, right? Game's only been out a year, right? I could have saw myself putting money into this game. I didn't put any money into this game except for the initial price of buying Knockout Kings, right? So I have a copy of Knockout Kings. Or Knockout City, sorry, not Kings. That's the boxing game from EA. Right? So I'm out that money now because the game's going to get shut down in a couple months, and that's it. Won't be able to play anymore. Although the developers did say they're gonna make a private server patch for the PC version, so you can host your own games, which I think is awesome. So the devs are going the extra mile in doing that. Obviously, they can't do that with Xbox or PlayStation because the infrastructure is centralized. I don't really think there's a way to do private servers on console, which sucks. So that means that game is done, right? If I bought cosmetics and bought a bunch of stuff that, yes, they don't have any bearing on the game, but like I bought them because I was interested in the game. I want to outfit my character, look unique and all that. It's all gone. Cosmetics are not transferable. EA is not going to give you your money back because you bought them willfully. You wanted to buy them for the game and the whatever else. It's sad that you never know with a free-to-play game.
This is the world you want.
Live service.
This is the world you want.
This is not the world I want, Dan. I want
the online world that you want. This is the online world you want.
I want the online. I want to be able to play and download stuff. Everything's interconnected. I don't have to travel to the store to get a game. All that stuff's great. But as a publisher needs to step up, and the publisher needs to commit to the thing that they're going to do, right? We talked about it a couple months ago with Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft was shutting down one of their kind of live service things or whatever, right? And the only way to play it is like online and whatnot. But like as of the writing, you could still buy the game, even though they were like shutting it down. Like you at least got to take it off the store so people don't spend money on a thing that they can't even play, right? But I would even go further, right? If you're going to make press conference and you're going to hype up this game and you're going to say, hey, we have this thing, we're committed to it and all that. And then they look at the numbers and they go, oh, it's not doing well. We have to shut it down. As a user, I've wasted possibly hundreds of dollars on this, depending on how addictive the game was. And they're like, yeah, it's not doing well. And then they end up shutting it down, right? And I'm not saying they can't put these games out there. I'm not saying that they can't put in the R&D and the whatever else. But you can't rely so much on the microtransactions to carry you through and then just shut it down when you're unhappy with the numbers one month. Because that's really what this is. The game is good. Everybody likes it. The reviews of it were good. So it's not like it's a bad game.
instead of microtransactions, they just charge you $70 for the game, and you'll see if you like it or not.
You could do that. That would at least be more honest. But then with that, you still need to support the game because it's all online. There's not really an offline mode for it. So you got to at least have something that doesn't require EA to host servers or for Xbox or PlayStation to have server space for it, right? Because either way, if I spend $70 on a game and it's dead in a year, why did I buy the game? I can't like play it anymore, right? Like, you kind of have some agreement.
Die eventually.
What's it?
The game's gonna die eventually. I mean,
but not a year. Game? Not a year.
Lawbreakers, right? It was Lawbreakers.
Lawbreakers, sure.
Right, and that, you actually paid for the game. We actually paid for the game.
Yeah.
They went down like in 2 years.
Right. And this was Cliffy B's game, his new studio, after he left Epic, and I don't think he wanted to shut it down, but he doesn't have the money that EA has. So I'm not excusing the matter, right? But I think that was a financial move that had to happen. Couldn't do it. And even the game that he tried to put out afterwards, there was another one that was kind of like that, but a little more like bubblegum poppy art style, a little Fortnite-y or whatever, that I forget what the name, something Cash or something like that. It was a similar style, Royale style game, first person, third person shooter. And he couldn't get that one off the ground either. Like, he had to shut that down too, which is sad. So I'm not excusing either person, but
I think it's just more disappointing that people say they enjoyed the game. Like, you even said
it's great.
Enjoyed the game.
The game was good. It had good bones.
I even said I want to try to play it, but it's people like me who didn't get a chance to try to play it is the reason why they're shutting it down, because not enough people played.
No, it wasn't enough. Well, it wasn't enough people playing and enough people buying buying all the cosmetics for it.
Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they're shutting it down, but maybe they're going to use that and make a better game, make another, knockout champions. I don't know.
Oh, the business model was not dying, and guaranteed EA is going to try again, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's stick with EA and Star Wars, right? So Star Wars Jedi Survivor, right? It's supposed to come out in March, but now it's been delayed until the end of April. So this is going to be interesting, right? It's April 28th. It's only a 6 week delay.
Yeah.
Which, the game is done. They need a little bit more time to polish it. Makes sense. 6 weeks, even if you would have pushed it out to September, I would have been okay with that. Right. I would have been fine with that.
Well, you want a good product, right?
I want a good product.
That's the bottom line. Yeah.
Because you have Jedi Survivor coming out on the 28th of April, right? And then, a week later, you're going to have Redfall. That comes out. And then, I don't know.
Another live service game, yeah. That's in the vein of Knockout City.
I don't have the dates in front of me, so I don't know which comes out first, but then you have, Kill the Justice League, all right?
Another live service game. Possibly. We're not 100% sure, but yeah.
Possibly. And then we got Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be a crazy, it's going to be a crazy, 5 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, the end of April and May.
And somewhere between now and Christmas 1, we're going to get Starfield. We don't know when, but it's coming.
Starfield is coming in the fall.
Probably.
No, they haven't delayed it again, but they did say it's going to come out. It was shown at E3 last year, and they said it's going to come out before the next E3 of 2023. I still don't believe that. I believe it's coming out in the fall.
We do have another Xbox presentation that's just Starfield. We don't know when that's coming out, but they said there's going to be a separate presentation for that. So we know that's coming.
Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny if we got that and it says out today? All right, an hour after the show.
They could do that.
They could do that.
They could do that. That'd be the best stealth drop ever. It'd be crazy.
But I don't think they're going to do that.
Right.
So Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
Oh, can I tell you in musical form?
Oh God. Oh God.
You like
Right,
my little James Bond intro impersonation?
That was terror. That was terrible. That was
Come
terrible.
on now. It's exactly what it was. He walks out of the screen, he shoots the gun,
terrible.
you're looking through the barrel of the gun on your end. And
I
then
hope you don't.
it
I hope
shakes.
you. We gotta like block that out when we put this on YouTube. We don't get copyright.
See, it was very, very close.
Terrible.
Well, the GOAT.
Well, we both been playing it, so we can both talk about it.
For sure. The GOAT, one of the most influential games of all time. GoldenEye. I have been playing GoldenEye. It is on the Switch and Games Pass on Xbox. I played it on Xbox. You played it on both. We talked a little bit
on both Switch and Xbox.
We talked about it a little bit last week. A lot of people were making videos about it, how it's kind of half-baked. It is very much half-baked on both. There's pros and cons to each version. Like, the Switch version has online play. The Xbox version only has local co-op. That is basically an agreement between warring nations, between Microsoft, Nintendo, Rare, and MGM. And Eon Studios, which holds the rights, I believe. Eon Productions or whatever holds the rights to James Bond, Broccoli and that whole family and all that. So lots of people involved. They had to make deals with the devil across the board to get this out. I'm pretty sure they walked away from the table. Nintendo got theirs. Microsoft got theirs. And it's worse for it. I wish it was just on one console, and that would be it. But Microsoft owns Rare, so they're not going to let it go down like that. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
I disagree.
Oh.
I disagree.
Oh.
I disagree. Well, okay. All right, let me preface. So on the Switch,
yeah,
if you weren't a part of that generation, if you weren't a part of, the Dreamcast, the early PS1, if you weren't a part of, the N64 generation, the controls suck. All right. But those were controls.
They suck regardless.
Those are the same controls of the time. Those are controls at the time.
But that doesn't mean it's worth playing today. And I have held that stance for a while. GoldenEye was great for what it did. It was truly the first good first-person shooter experience. It did 4-player multiplayer on one console. It was great, but it ran like dog shit. It ran 10 to 15 FPS. You only had one analog stick, so you had to it had a weird control scheme. It wasn't great.
That was great. At the time, it was great.
But if you go back to it at any point in the last 20 years, you're gonna go, ooh, yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason we've moved on from that. We've evolved from that.
No. Totally agree.
Yeah.
But to appreciate it, you have to be of that time. So
well,
it wasn't.
That's the nostalgia.
That's
the nostalgia.
Yeah. When I was playing, I played it on the Switch. I beat the whole first level. I killed it. I got all the enemies. Mm-hmm. I did the secrets, and then you do the big jump.
You jump off the
bungee jump off.
Yep.
Yeah. So I did all of that. It took me a little bit longer because I had to, sort of switch my brain. I had to turn my brain around to do the controls because you're looking and everything with one stick, right?
Right.
So I had to do that.
And let's just say that the Switch. And I don't know why, but you essentially need the new N64 Bluetooth controller that hooks up to the system, because for some dumb reason they didn't put in a modern control scheme, and you can kind of get it there, but you have to do 29 steps, and I'm not even being hyperbolic. No. You have to do a ton of steps to get it to play decently with the way you would think it would play with the two analog sticks.
I'm so confused at what you just said. We know why they did that. The deal is Xbox, you get to play it with modern controls, right? And they revamped everything.
No.
Nintendo, you gotta play it the way it was on the N64.
Well,
you can have the multiplayer online, but you gotta play it. They gotta take something away. You can't do it modern controls. You gotta do it the way 1-to-1 port.
The problem is you can't get the N64 controller. It's in limited supply. You've been wanting to get it for the past year now, and you can't get it. It's terrible. It's dog shit.
I know. I keep missing it.
I haven't played the Switch version, but I have played the Xbox version. Everybody says the Xbox version is better, and it is. It has
way better. I beat that same level in half the time.
Mm-hmm. The graphics look a little bit better, even though it's all still emulated and some of it's still kind of. It's better than the Switch. They're both in widescreen, which is nice, but surprisingly, the original also had a widescreen mode. For anybody who was luxury enough to have a widescreen TV back in 97, 98, you could put it in widescreen. And it's funny too, because the original, you could hook up 2 controllers and use the 2 analog sticks and play that way.
I remember that.
They had that weird mode that nobody knew about. So that was a thing. It's just all sorts of bungled. So when you play it on both systems, the text that comes up over the top, super blurry. All right? They couldn't manage to fix that. It is emulated and up-resed. There's only so much they can do with it. I understand, but they didn't do enough with this. I don't like it. It's sad because it could be a lot better. They had the 360 version, right, that Rare was working on that got kiboshed. That was maybe a quarter or close to a half. Oh, it may have been done. I don't know why.
I think it was 80 to 90% done.
I don't know why that wasn't used as the base. You build off that, all right? Because that looked infinitely better. That had updated textures across the board, had a lot of new conveniences, had a better control scheme on there. It ran a lot better. And that got dumped recently. You can download it and play it via an emulator or whatever, and it's good. It's really good. I don't know why they didn't use that. They went with the original one. That's the code base they went off. And we're not going to get into the GoldenEye.
I like the Xbox. I like the Xbox version. It plays better. It does play better.
It plays better, but it's not enough.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I think the Switch version,
it's not.
Controls is the only thing that stops you. I think it's great. All right, it brings back nostalgia. It's a great game. You were back into it and play.
You were drinking a bottle of Beaujolais.
Listen,
and it's from the Nostalgia Vineyard, circa 1997.
No, you need I don't need it to be perfect. Give me the
No, it has to be good. It's not good. Better. It's not even good.
It is good. It is good. The game's the Xbox version is good. Get out of here.
The Xbox version is better.
It's a little the text is a little blurry. You can read it.
The controls are still super floaty. The frame rate's all over the place. There is no online multiplayer, which is a sin in this day and age. I know why, but still.
Guess what? This guy can care less about playing with other people online.
Oh, I mean, I know you don't care about that, which is why you're a little more it's fine. And I would also make the argument that I would want to play with people in the same room, relive the college dorm experience, because that was our time, right? That would be the time that we'd all be going to college and whatnot. I have a lot of fond memories playing Bond in the dorm room and all that, playing on the big screen TV in the lounge.
Come on.
Super cool.
You love the meme? Don't you love the meme that's out there with the cardboard over the TV?
Oh my God, yeah, doing so you couldn't screen cheat. Oh, for sure.
So you couldn't screen cheat? Come on.
But
don't you want that experience again?
Well,
no, kids nowadays have no idea.
Okay.
No idea.
So it's funny. I had to immediately after. I went and put on Halo to wash the bad taste out of my mouth, just to see
wasn't that bad.
Just to see what a first-person shooter. And granted, Halo Infinite came out 2 years ago, right? It is a very modern game, but my God, night and day. The level of conveniences, just the general controls in general, we've come a long way since GoldenEye, right? And it's funny too, because Halo took a lot of notes from GoldenEye. They said, "Oh, okay, they did it right? How do we do first-person shooter on a console?" It was what was the GOAT?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta look at that. And but they improved upon things so much. I can go back to Halo 1 and play Halo 1. Halo 1 is tight. The controls are good. There's a lot of good weapon variety. The graphics are good. They give you a lot of good control schemes that you can play with. It's funny because the GoldenEye control schemes are in there, but
frame rate on Halo 1. We talk about the original Xbox, or you playing it online on Games Pass?
I'm talking about the OG one. You go back and play the OG one. I did it for Saturday Morning Retro. It's good. It's like 30 frames.
Great.
It's 30 frames a second.
Great.
It's much better than it. I can go back and play the original Halo any day and have a great time with it. Going back to playing GoldenEye. And
guess what? And
not
guess
as
what?
good.
And guess what? If I had modern controls, I can go back and play GoldenEye. Oh my God, I have that. It's on my Xbox. It's on Xbox Games Pass.
That's not enough.
I have modern controls.
Not enough.
It is enough.
The shooting is still too floaty.
It drops some frames.
It's the controls are so floaty.
It's not that.
All right, we're going to the bat on this. You were in the minority. You realize that, right? Modern Vintage Gamer, RGT85, Spawn Wave, everybody online saying, no, this is no good.
All these people, everybody you just named, they just have outrage to have outrage because they want the clicks.
Wow, you're throwing them under the bus. That's all right. Okay, all right. Well, I think we've just made enemies. Made enemies with all the video game YouTubers. Dan, they're our peers.
Well, or at least they're talking about us.
Well, that's true.
At least they're talking about us.
All right. So,
let's talk about a game that we've both been playing that we actually do like.
Yes. Hi-Fi Rush. So good. They dropped it. Surprise drop after the announcement or the presentation, Xbox's presentation last week. I'm not gonna lie, game is great. It's very good. It's very good.
It is great. I would listen if this was Saturday Morning Retro, I would give it an 8.5.
Oh, I'd give it a 9.5. I think it's really good. It's
really fun. It's really fun.
It is
for spoken. It's better than for spoken.
Well, I haven't gotten to for spoken yet because Hi-Fi Rush is so good, but I'm gonna get there and play that demo. Gave me a lot of vibes of Jet Set Radio. Gave me a lot of vibes of you said Sunset Overdrive, which 100% makes sense. Just in the visuals, in the sound design, they got big name artists. I mean, they got 9 Inch Nails does music, the Black Keys, a bunch of other artists.
It's so good.
Yeah,
the music is so good in it,
and it carries through to the gameplay. Everything ties together. The music, like you're supposed to play the game on the beat, right? And that's how you get like combos. You can do like special moves when you're on the beat. And the whole world is bouncing to the beat of the song. It's really good. Character designs are great, right? It's all kind of cel shaded.
I like the variety in the boss battles.
Yes. I've only done that first big one with like the first big dude. Super cool though. It's very good.
Oh no! Wait till you get to the. I thought this was a short game. I got to the boss because she says boss. Right?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Is that Rekka, the big girl with the hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The purple thing was purple hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she has like boss on her belt buckle. Yeah.
Nice.
I love beating her because like she has like 4 different sort of levels for styles, and once you beat her, then it's like, oh no, all the other bosses come up a screen that you gotta beat.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
No,
good.
Game is awesome.
Good.
Game is awesome. So another game that I didn't put in the show notes because I just got it today and I played about an hour of it earlier. A game that Dave didn't think I would buy. I didn't think I would buy.
Oh. It's not Elden Ring because you bought that already. Oh!
Dead Space.
Oh, he did it, folks. He did it.
Dead Space.
Dan, I'm so proud of you.
I got it.
I'm so proud of you.
I bought it.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, wow. All right.
I got it for Xbox. I got it for the Xbox Series X.
Okay.
So a couple of things I needed to do. 1, put it on easy. 2, definitely, had to turn the lights up. I had to turn.
This guy's a little scared.
Turn the lights up.
This guy's a little scared.
Turn the lights up. Yeah. It's like, hey, what do you want your brightness? I was like 100. I want it at 100. I want the brightness at 100.
Did you do that in game too, or you didn't turn the gamma slider up all the way, or?
All the way.
Oh,
all the way, baby.
Jesus.
Okay.
It's a great game.
So far, it is a great game. I like the stomp.
Mm-hmm.
I like the modern controls.
Yeah.
Talked about.
Right. All right.
Yeah. I wonder now. I never played the original Dead Space on console. I played it on my iPad.
Oh.
I didn't know. I wasn't in the game. I still wasn't in the. I wasn't quite in the games at this time. And they said, "Hey, we got this new game that's out on iOS, and it's Dead Space." I didn't know it was a port of the original game. So I was playing it on my iPad, and I was like, "Oh, this is a good game. I like this game. This game should be. They should put this on on consoles one day."
It was a good control experience for iPad.
At the time.
Okay.
Swipe and then it's whatever.
You kind of hold it like a gamepad. Yeah.
You can't get it anymore. I don't think so. Unless you downloaded it and it never updated your iPad.
Right.
Because some people have that. Yeah,
for sure.
So that was my first time playing Dead Space, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I can play this. Right. So I don't know how the original game is with the controls. Some people say they've definitely tightened the controls. I think Dead Space 2 is like the pinnacle of the series, and 3 kind of went down a little bit, and then we had the prequel on the Wii, which was a Wii game.
Yeah, I never got to play 3. Yeah, 3 was terrible, though everyone hates 3. They went in a completely different direction with it, which is sad because 1 and 2 were super tight. And I think you're right, 2 is better than 1. They definitely improved upon a bunch of stuff. And there's that scene at the end of 2. Oh my God. Oh, it's brutal.
But I'm good. I'm gonna keep playing.
Oh, you should. You should. The story gets crazy.
And I want. Well, I already saw a history of Dead Space. I already know the story.
Oh,
but I definitely want to pop in Callisto Protocol again.
Oh, to put them side by side. Yeah.
So to put them, yeah. Put them side by side.
Okay.
All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. All right, Dave, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. And we have to start with the bombshell that came from IGN. It was an exclusive from IGN that said not only Sony, but Xbox and Nintendo will not be a part of E3 2023.
Yep.
They didn't say they wouldn't be a part of E3 in the future, but they definitely won't be a part of E3.
I don't think there's no reason to talk about 2024. That's so far away. So yeah,
but
of course they're not going to mention it.
They're not going to have a presence on the show floor or anything. Nothing.
Right.
They're not
So
have nothing.
they're not doing a presentation with the ESA at E3 or the show floor stuff. That's a big hit.
That's a huge hit. I mean, it turns E3 into PAX, nothing but indie. Really nothing but indie games that you're going to see.
Right. Now Sony hasn't been doing it for the last 2 years. Right.
So Sony hasn't done it for the last 2 years. There are reports that Nintendo doesn't have a huge game coming out later in the year. They probably do have like smaller type games that are coming out. But some of the rumors of the reports that they're out there that I've read that Nintendo doesn't have anything major to come out in the second half of 2023. Right? Tears of the Kingdom comes out in May. That's why they don't have. There's no justification to spend the money, the millions of dollars to go to E3 when you have nothing to promote that's coming out at the end of the year.
Right. You got Pikmin, and it's like, well, okay, Pikmin's not huge though, right? Zelda's huge, and that's it. That's it.
That tells me two things. Both our predictions are wrong, right? Metroid Prime 4 not coming out this year.
Nope.
And there's no Mario game.
And there's also probably no Metroid Trilogy either, because
I think Metroid Trilogy can come out because that's
all still rumored. All of that's a rumor.
Yeah, but I still think Metroid Trilogy can come out at the end of the year if you're telling me Metroid Prime 4 is it a 2024 game? Which kind of makes sense.
We'll never know because there's just no info on it. Like, people are speculating it's not going to come out till the next Switch console comes out or the next Nintendo console comes out, which it could be a launch game for that at this point. You know?
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
Like, and it's interesting too because like. I know Kirby is always the one that's like the death knell for the system when a Kirby game comes out, and it's like, oh, well, that's like the last one for the system, right? That was with, I think, the GameCube and the N64 and maybe even the Wii too, I think. Like Kirby was at the end.
Game Boy, SNES.
Right. Yeah.
No, that curse ended, though. That curse ended with like the Wii U, right? We didn't have we got the Kirby games early. I don't think we got the Kirby games early.
Oh, that's
3DS. The 3DS too. So towards the end, we got like
Kirby, the Robopop one, yeah.
Adventure. Yeah, like that was towards the end, but that wasn't the end. That didn't kibosh the system.
Right.
So we sort of stopped that after the Wii.
Well, Zelda is kind of that too, right? Like Twilight Princess. Granted, it was a cross compatible game, but it was literally one of the close to the last game for the GameCube, and. Also with Skyward Sword was one of the last ones. It was like 2011, I think. The console kind of petered out.
Well, you know, I'm really looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom because Breath of the Wild was really a Wii U game ported to the Switch, right?
It was.
So there were certain things you couldn't do, even though we all played it on the Switch. There's certain things you couldn't do because this was really a Wii U game, right? And you sort of have to retool it to fit the Switch, but it was still coming out on the Wii U.
Yeah.
So now this is the first full Zelda game for the Switch. So I want to see what they can do. That's not going to hold it back because they don't have to worry about the Wii U.
Oh yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing, right?
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So I get why Nintendo doesn't want to be there. I don't necessarily think it's for a lack of like, oh, we don't care about E3. It's for a lack of content. They just don't have anything. Yeah. So I would agree there. Now, Microsoft has a ton of content, right?
No, well, Microsoft.
And Sony has a ton of content too, but Sony hasn't been going for the last 2 years.
Sony hasn't been going for the last 2 years. Well, 4 years technically, right? But they haven't been at E3 since 2018.
Right.
But Microsoft, the big, what everybody's saying, the rumors and the news reporting is that Microsoft will be at E3. They just won't be in E3. So they'll have a thing around E3. Yeah. They're gonna have something, press conference, just like EA. EA, does it a day before the E3 actually starts, and they're like down the block at another theater, another theater, right? Where Microsoft would be across the street in the Microsoft theater,
right?
Where they don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, they have their own theater. Like, why? Yeah.
And they can sort of retrofit, sort of like a show floor for people to come and play, right? And there are reports that Microsoft will do something, around like the day before, the day after E3. So when press and all the people from press are going to be there, and your E3 badge can get you into the Microsoft theater.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. So, I know what you're going to say because I understand where you're coming from.
Biggest optimist,
but
I'm optimistic.
I don't. Just changes absolutely nothing. We're still going to get all the same stuff. It's just not going to be over that compact week or 4 to 5 days or whatever it is, right? It's not going to be that Saturday to Wednesday situation, right? But we're going to get all the same info. Everyone's going to do their own thing at some point in time over the summer, The
last 2 years have been terrible. I'm sorry, they've been terrible.
The content has been terrible, or the presentation has been terrible, because you're going to say the presentation.
The presentation of
the content's been great.
It's terrible. The content's been okay. I mean, a lot of stuff didn't come out.
Well, and
we know why.
Yeah, that's no fault of E3, right? That's not like having the big stage wouldn't have changed any of that. You would have got lukewarm presentations over 4 days or 5 days, whatever it is.
I think this year will. Well, I mean, if Nintendo's not going to have like a big direct with big games in it, then then this doesn't work. But if they don't go next year, if the big three don't go next year, and they have games to show, it'll be interesting to see how next year goes, because I think next year will be really the litmus test to see how this works. Because I think the thing that we had over music and movies was like a Super Bowl event for the media, for the games.
Yeah,
the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that was it, right? Like we had everybody comes together. Everybody, shows their hand. They're all the big stuff. This is this news. We hear this news. This is great, and then we have news that overshadows that, and so on and so on, right? And then we compare. This press conference was better than this press conference, or this direct was better than this state of play. And I think that's what makes games unique. Like the gaming industry separates it from others like music and movies,
right,
where they don't have that.
Right.
It gives us the hype and pomp and circumstance. I mean, listen.
That's the thing we're gonna miss. We're gonna miss all the bigness of it, right? But
Microsoft has their listen. Even when they were doing the Xbox One, right? Their E3, sort of events, they had their pre-show that made it like a movie premiere. Right, they had the red carpet. People came out, and you had Major Nelson talking to people, walking the carpet.
Yeah,
hey, what games do you want to like that? Yeah. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that.
No, well, I mean that's not necessarily true. We could still get that.
We might not get that. That's in danger. We might not get that, and that's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, all that stuff is fun. But if the content isn't there, then it all falls flat. Content is king. Okay. It all comes down to, like, you don't have any meat and potatoes. You don't have any substance behind it. Everything else kind of falls apart. Right? You got to have good announcements in the mix.
Not true. And I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Not true. I can prove it. I can prove you wrong right now. I mean,
because once it's all said and done, what are you going to do? You're going to play these lukewarm,
I can tell you,
C-rated games.
I can show you how you're wrong. I can tell you how you're wrong. There have been plenty of E3s where it's been sort of slow in the content. I mean, you talk about meat and potatoes. I mean, people like bone marrow. So if you just have the bone marrow,
bone marrow is delicious. Don't get me wrong.
You make something out of nothing, right? When you have that big pomp and circumstance and you don't have big games, it still makes it feel like, oh, these games, bigger than what they would have been if they would have just been announced on Twitter or announced on
right.
YouTube.
But then they come out and it's like, oh, this is a terrible experience. Why did I spend $70 on this?
Well, I'm just saying there have been years in the past during the 360 PS3 era where the pop and circumstance made the games that were presented bigger than what they actually were when they actually got released.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what? The excitement was still there, and we're going to lose that. And that's the part I
know, but I'd rather have quality games than have a great package presentation, It's all style and no substance at the end of the day then.
But going forward, they're going to be years. They're going to be dry years where we're going to have, nothing or have subpar games, right? As they work on as games get more and more harder to develop for.
Some years are better than others, sure, for game releases.
We went from AAA games coming out every year because it took a year. It took 10 months to make. So now they're taking 3, maybe even 5 years now, right? So you need something to hype up the crowd.
Yeah,
E3 hype this up. Even if it wasn't worth it.
Microsoft is still doing their thing, right? Sony is still doing their thing. Everyone's still doing their thing. It's just spread out a little bit. We get a whole summer now to talk about this. We get Keighley Summer Games Fest. Ubisoft will do something eventually. Capcom will do some small thing or whatever. And now we don't have to be disappointed with any of that because it'll all be like our expectations will be tempered by the company. They'll say, all right, look, this is what we're going to be showing you. This is what you should expect from this press conference. I go, all right.
Were you not hyped? When you saw just the 4 logo?
I'm still hyped for it, Dan. Right? 5 years after Nintendo showed that JPEG on that damn pull down projector screen, yeah, I'm still hyped for it. Don't get me wrong.
But you know why they did that? They did that because they had to show something because E3 was coming. Now we won't have that. We won't have
Well,
that won't be there
a
anymore.
lot of people said that was probably one of the worst moves they could have ever done because the game was
Not true.
The game was
Not
terrible. They had to redo the whole thing from scratch, and now we're all waiting for it with like bated breath.
I'm sure they didn't think it was terrible. I'm sure they thought they could fix it.
I don't know if they went to go see the game. I don't know. They were thumbs down in it. They kicked out Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
They kicked out Bandai Namco. It was so.
Well, they're still working with them. They're just not going to have them.
I think it's all retro at this point.
No. They're still working with Bandai Namco.
Oh no. I know. But it was just yeah. They messed up on Metroid Prime 4, and I wish we could see what that build looked like.
We will in 20 years.
I mean, so there's definitely going to be a leak. I'm so curious to see how that ends.
Did you know gaming 20 years from now will have it up?
Right, exactly. So look,
Right,
I feel you. I do. But again, I want a good game trailer that turns out to be a good game at the end of the day. However it's presented. All right. So, if we don't get the big stage, I'll take a small stage.
Think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have a year where we have the Order 1886, right?
Oh.
Brand new, right?
The GOAT.
No.
The GOAT.
No. Listen. The Order 1886, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got Fable. We got the GoldenEye going to Games Pass, right? GoldenEye going to Nintendo Online.
Oh, you're killing me,
right?
Dad. It's going downhill quick.
That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if it was at E3, hey, we got this new Order 1886 game. We got Fable. We got this new Fable game coming. The pomp and circumstance, GoldenEye's come into online services.
I know what you're saying.
Circumstances.
I know what you're saying.
You up. You'll be hyped up. We still have something to talk about. We'll get news for these games throughout the summer. We always do. We never had a problem with that in the past, right? And then when the game comes out, it kind of it's except for the Order 1886. It was the best game for 3
I
years.
mean, it was nominated for Game of the Year back to back. It's a dynasty, Dad.
The only game in history. It's like
the Bulls in the 90s.
Bills.
Or the Buffalo Bills.
It's the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, yeah, right, because they kept going to the Super Bowl and they kept getting beat by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I rooted for the Bills so hard. All 3 of those years. I think the first year they played somebody. I forget who they played.
4 years. 4 years in a row.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because one of those was without the Cowboys, and then 3 years of the Cowboys. I always rooted for the Bills, even though they were the underdog. I'm like, nah, they gotta come up and win.
Yeah, I think Denver. I forgot who beat them. Was it Denver? No, maybe not Denver.
No. Denver's in the AFC too. I forget. San Fran, maybe. San Francisco and the Bills. I don't know, but I get your reference. 100%. Yeah, that's what the Order 1886 is.
Again, I'm just trying to say the pop and circumstance will pop all. They'll hype us all for these games. We'll have something to be hyped for, even though it probably won't meet expectations.
So the sting when you spend $70 and you get a game like Scorn is you're just gonna think like, oh yeah, but that E3 press conference was really cool. No, you're gonna go, I just spent $70 on a bullshit game and now I can't take it back to GameStop.
You were hyped. Well, just
yeah, I was hyped for like a couple days, but then it all goes away when the game comes out.
Just as a second, because we like to be accurate.
Go ahead, lay it down.
So, okay, the Cowboys only beat them twice.
I thought it was 2 times.
It was the Washington team. Now the Commanders and the Giants beat them 1990.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Giants, that's right. When they had to get the backup quarterback in there to win them the game.
That was our first New York State Super Bowl.
New York State Super Bowl? Oh, right. Yeah, because the Bills are Buffalo, New York.
It took Dave a minute. It took a minute.
Well, because they never, no one ever refers to Buffalo as a New York team, but they are. We have 3 football teams, 2 of which play in Jersey, and 1 of which plays way upstate in New York. But yeah, okay. Right. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what next year brings. It'd be nice to have.
By the way, I don't think Nintendo is out. I just think that they don't have anything to show, but I think Nintendo will be a part of E3.
Yeah, no.
They will be the focal point of E3.
I'm with you. The reason they're bowing out is because they have nothing. They have Zelda and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft will just tell people, hey, come across the street.
We have our own thing.
Literally and figuratively, come across the street.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's switch gears. Let's stick with Xbox. Let's stick with the Series X. We talked about how when the PlayStation was Sony was the first company ever in history to raise the price on a console. Usually consoles, the price goes down. They raised the price on the consoles just because, the supply shortages. And I had to sit here and listen to you and everybody else. Oh my God, Xbox will never do this. Microsoft has never do this. They're, Sony, they're terrible. Sony, blah, blah, blah.
I didn't say they would never do it.
Guess what? We talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago. They raised the price in India, right? For the Series X and X. And now they're raising the price in Japan. Apparently, it's going up 5,000 yen effective February 17th. And I think that's the equivalent of like $40.
$40 to $50, yeah. It's about $100. About 100 yen is $1, roughly, give or take a little bit. But you know where it's not going up in price, Dan? The good old U.S. of A. So we don't have to worry
North
about
America.
Yes.
Well, PlayStation didn't go up in North America either.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't, and we're very happy for that here.
So the price, Xbox is getting a price hike too, right? So that's kind of weird that it's getting a price. So the Series S is getting a price hike in Japan. We already talked about it getting a price hike in India, but in the USA, it was on sale last week for like $30 off.
Yeah. Well, I think
$30 or $40 off.
I think that's a volume situation more than anything, right? Sells really well in North America. Is the best territory for them. Microsoft notoriously does terrible in Japan. Nobody likes them as a company. Original Xbox was big and bulky.
They did well. But they did well with the Series X and Series S. A lot of people bought the Series S's in Japan.
It has been their best performing console for sure. Yeah. But they definitely had some missteps. So I think that's part of it with the chip shortage. Also that too. The materials becoming harder to get. So all that kind of stuff together. But
they're Sony does something. They raise the price. They make a change. They get vilified for it. Xbox says, we have no plans of doing that. And then 6 months later, they do it. Yeah,
that I'm a little annoyed about, but that is the right move business-wise. Let somebody else go out in front, take the fire, and then you can come behind and go, oh, yeah, we're here too.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We're not doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing.
Terrible.
But they're also, Microsoft, also still in the news because... the famous quote, if you don't want to play online, buy a 360.
Right.
You remember that from E3? Talk about E3 moments. We won't get moments like that.
That was Jeff Keighley and Don Matrick. You're right. Yeah. And Jeff Keighley was bewildered. What?
What?
We're not that far in the future where everything's just online, always connected. No.
So let's stick with the 360. They did recently announce 46 games are being delisted from the Xbox 360 marketplace effective February 7th. But there was some concern that they would be shutting down the marketplace altogether at some point in May. Microsoft has confirmed that they will not be shutting down the Xbox 360 marketplace. You could still buy games. And you could still buy the 46 games that are being delisted on the Xbox Series X or the Xbox One marketplace. You just can't buy it on the 360.
I don't know why. I think it's kind of shitty.
All digital future, baby. That's what you wanted.
Well, but it's not the all digital future. I don't think it has anything to do with any of that. Because if it's still, it does. But it's if it's on the Xbox Series X, it's on their data center somewhere. You can download it and whatnot. The 360 store, as Microsoft clarified, as you mentioned, they're not closing the 360 store. They're just taking these games off. So it's got to be some dumb political thing or whatever, right? Or some dumb licensing agreement or whatever, or I don't know. It's not great. Not that I use my 360 anymore, but I know a lot of people do. It's a great system. It's a workhorse. You got a lot of amazing, great games on there. So now everybody's scrambling to like download all the DLC and the games and the whatever else because they're going to be gone. You won't be able to get them anymore. But I don't know why. If you can get Bully or Skate 3 or Call of Duty or Borderlands, you can get them on the newer console. Why can't you get them on the older console?
All the Assassin's Creed games, right? Assassin's Creed, Brotherhood 3, 4, Liberation. Great game. Call of Duty. Right? The Call of Duty games, Call of Duty Ghost, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, just to name a few. Jet Set Radio, taking it back to Sega.
Now, Jet Set Radio, that was only on the 360 and the PS3. I don't know if that's available on the Series X or S. It's definitely not available on PS4 or PS5 because it was a PS3 game that was made for the PS3, so they'd have to do a lot of work to make that happen.
And as a side note, I think they did confirm that Redfall will always has an always online requirement, even for single player.
Yeah, there's no reason for that. Why do you need to be connected for single player? Right? Do what Death Stranding did. You can opt into the online portion of it if you want, but it is a single player game. You don't need any of that online stuff if you don't want it. And if that ever goes down, you can still play single player. You just won't get all the other stuff that people build in your world, right? They build bridges and whatever else. You just won't get that, but you can still play it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, the future is coming. It's coming.
I know.
All right. We even talked about, well, I don't think we talked about it on the show, but we did talk about it off cameras. All the rumors I think are going to be true, and I said this was going to happen for the next generation. I didn't think it would happen so soon about, the PS5, them making just solid, slimmer PS5s, no disk drive, but sell the disk drive separately.
Yeah,
that's going to be the next console, right?
Oh, they're already looking at it. There's rumors of an updated model that doesn't have or has like a slot-in drive for it. That could be it. Could be coming with like a mid-generation refresh even.
Well, I mean, since we talk about rumors, one of the big guys who breaks rumors, who broke the rumors of like the PS5, the look, and Xbox Series X, or when they would reveal it, or I forgot something. He broke something that was actually like totally accurate. He said he's heard more about the PlayStation 6 than a mid-gen upgrade.
Oh,
mid-fresh.
Yeah. Well, so, they're definitely doing a refresh. I mean, that's happening no matter what. It may not have the detachable drive and the whatever, like a slot-in drive or whatever.
I don't think we're definitely going to get a Slim, but I don't know if we're going to get a PS5 Pro, right? I think we're going to jump into like PlayStation 6 and Xbox Series whatever, Series Y.
Maybe sooner, not. Yeah,
sooner than later.
Right.
But let's stick with Xbox. One more thing about Xbox: the Coalition has canceled 2 smaller style games, and they've confirmed that they're working on Gears of War 6. Wow. Now, when I heard this, I was happy because my prediction, I said we will see something from Gears 6 this year.
Why are you happy? They canceled 2 out of the 3 games they were working on.
But I am.
You're morbid then.
I'm a little sad that they canceled 2 games because I like the idea of them making like sort of smaller style games. I mean, look, Hi-Fi Rush. I'm sure they're like, let's put something together, right? Because they got Ghostwire Tokyo that they just did.
Yeah,
like a big game. But I thought it was good. It was good. It wasn't the greatest game. It was good. It was okay on the Dave scale, right? But Hi-Fi Rush, they make this, and it's fantastic.
I know.
Right? And it's a smaller game that they probably didn't expect to do. We're not going to get a physical release. I won't hold my breath on that. I wish we could. So I would have liked to see what the Coalition was working on, right? And maybe, I know they canceled, and I know games are never really, they cancel them, but the idea still stays alive. Maybe they'll do something else after Gear 6, because they're going to have to. I don't think they're going to be working on Gear 7. We're going to get the trilogy, and then they're going to probably move on and do something else.
They've almost solely worked on Gears. They took it over from Epic, I mean, apparently they made some Facebook game. That was like their first thing that they did, Relic Hunter or something like that.
Yeah, I remember
Which
that.
I didn't even know, but you know, you kind of get burnt out on that a little bit. Like when Retro Studios did Metroid Prime and then Prime 2, they got a little burnt out and they like made a bunch of pitches to Nintendo about things. Luckily, they got to do Donkey Kong Country and some of that stuff to kind of, you know, mix it up a little bit. But then they came back and did Metroid Prime 3, and now they're doing Metroid Prime 4 again. But you need a little bit of a breather. You want to work on different stuff. You know, I know it's all game development, but you want to work on different IPs. I'm curious. I don't think we know or we knew any of the stuff they were working on, right? I think it was all kind of behind the scenes. Yeah, would have been nice to know what it would have been.
You know, I don't like to hear about like them canceling games. Like if we didn't hear about the game, then I don't need to hear about the cancellation of the game. It's only if we heard about the game, if they talked about the game, if they said, "Hey,
you just said you were happy because now they get to work on Gear 6."
No, but I'm happy I'm going to get Gear 6. My prediction was we're going to get something from Gear 6 this year.
You just need to be right. That's all. At any cost.
I just need to be right. Well, I already said I'm going to be wrong about Nintendo because they got nothing big to show later in the year. I'm not going to get Mario Odyssey 2.
Nope.
So, no, but I'm glad Gear 6 is here. I just don't like to hear about canceled games. If I didn't hear about the development of the game, then why do I need to hear about the cancellation of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to know what those ideas were, and I bet they're like on the back burner. I don't think they're necessarily like canceled. Maybe they're like, because I think maybe part of this is because like Halo Infinite's all over the place, and it wasn't in the spot where Microsoft wants it to be, or it isn't in the spot where Microsoft wants it to be. It's getting better, but with all the like current layoffs and all that, it makes it kind of tough. The scaling back of the single player stuff, they need something else. So maybe they're pushing Gears up into the spotlight because
makes sense.
The last Gears I think was 2017, maybe 2018. So it's been.
And they dropped the war, right? It was just Gears 5.
They just called it Gears 5. Yeah, this one may just be called Gear 6, but yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And I look forward to it. I like the Gears franchise. I like, it's my favorite Xbox franchise.
Yeah.
of all time. I like Gears.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, let's talk about Embracer Group. Right. We keep talking about Sony and we keep talking about Nintendo. Keep talking about Xbox. But Embracer Group, they're up there, right? They're kind of major. They're getting there, right? They keep buying all these studios, and they bought the Square Enix studios with different franchises, for like $300 million.
Yep. Deus Ex and Tomb Raider and yeah.
Now, I mean, when this initial report dropped, it was sort of a shock because the report was Embracer Group to sell Tomb Raider to Amazon for $600 million. But that is not the case. It's actually the Embracer Group has leased Tomb Raider license to Amazon for $600 million, but I don't think it's actually $600 million because that wouldn't make any sense. Why would Amazon spend $600 million on just one IP when Embracer Group bought the studios and multiple IPs for half that amount? So I think the number is the thing that gets skewed. And I think it's in a Swiss currency, which is probably about $60 million, which sounds a little bit more accurate.
It does sound a lot more reasonable, right? To just get access to the franchise. We don't know what that means. We don't know how many games that necessarily means.
Well, it's not even games. We don't even know. We know they want to make a movie and sort of, do something to put on like the Amazon Prime platform.
Right.
We don't know anything else if it has anything, if they bought the rights to use in any other media. We know Embracer Group is working on a video game. So will it be a video game and movie tie-in, so to speak? They want to make a Tomb Raider universe is the thing that, they want to have a multiverse, a Tomb Raider universe. So I don't know, is that including comic books, cartoons, anime, we know movies, maybe they're going to make a TV show. I don't know. We don't know what it entails. I honestly don't think that they would use the video game. I don't think that's going to be included in this deal. They may want to work something out, where, hey, maybe we can, do something where the game sort of ties into the movie or the universe, but I don't think that's part of it. I think Amazon just working on, maybe a TV show to go alongside the movie, maybe a cartoon or something along those lines.
600 million for just a TV show or just a movie, or the rights to the movie or the franchise is a lot.
Well, you want to do more than one movie. You want to do more than one movie.
Oh, of course. You want to do at least a trilogy. I would say it's probably going to be a series, so they can do season, and kind of build it up. And Amazon is good with their TV series.
No. Let me. They are making a movie.
Oh, they're definitely doing at least a movie. Okay.
Definitely making a movie. Yeah.
Okay.
I threw on maybe, you make a movie of adult Laura and maybe do like a TV show of like Laura growing up that ties into the movies, right? Sort of like she talks about what happened when she was younger, sort of like, as an offshoot in the movie, and then do a TV show later on that shows us exactly what she was referring to. Right. So that kind of makes sense. So I think that's sort of what's going to, they want to make a universe. I don't know any other characters in a Tomb Raider world that you could do anything with other than Laura.
Yeah, maybe the butler from 2. I don't know. I haven't really played the new ones. I kind of fell off because the originals the controls were not so great. I know they did a lot for the franchise. People love them or whatever, but they were a little rough around the edges. I don't know recurring characters either. So that'd actually be a good, maybe in the new trilogy, there's like a through line. 'Cause I think the 3 games are all kind of tied together. So I think they may have some additional characters who kind of show up in multiple games, but yeah. So
maybe Amazon can publish the games or something along those lines, right? Have it sort of tie into
Embracer is a publisher though, which is and now they own the studio that makes them. So
they own the studio, and if Embracer can save some money and have Amazon publish it, sure, they can publish it, right?
Well, I'd be curious if they get exclusivity rights on one of the games. Or even if just for like a little bit of time, because they have their Amazon Luna service, their online gaming service.
Maybe they make more of like a mobile game while
Sure.
Embracer is making like more of an adult, like a regular AAA style game.
She has had a Lara Croft Go was a mobile only title, so it works in that space. Yeah.
All right, Dave. I like to end with something weird.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't get any weirder than this.
This is the pinnacle of weirdness? Okay.
Well, from what I could see from, last week, the news of last week, in Dubai, they have an actual huge size PS5 that was spitting out fireworks. I don't know why.
Wait.
I don't know why they have this.
Mm-hmm. You said actual size, though.
It was like the size of like a building. Like,
okay, yeah, because I'm looking at the article title. Actual size PS5 is like yay big.
Is an actual size of a building.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. No, I saw it. It shoots out a giant blue laser at the top. It's really cool.
I know. Why do they have this? I don't know.
It's a marketing stunt, 100%. Because they also did one in England for the God of War when God of War Ragnarok came out. They and it may even still be there, but there's a giant axe, right? Kratos' axe. And there's like police caution tape around with like a bunch of blue cones. And there's a PlayStation 5 news van there. And it says live on PS5 or whatever, and it's got the giant axe. So this is 100% a marketing stunt.
So this is I know we talked about a little bit earlier in the show the all digital feature, right? And this is what all the companies want. If that's the case, then why did they make a a huge size PS5 with the disc in it? It wasn't the digital version, which you would think would be a little bit better if you're gonna it's not working, so it does something. It shoots out a giant blue light out the top, so it is working in that respect. But it'd be like great if you could use a PS5 controller and play some God of War. Plug it in,
yeah.
Put it on like a movie screen or something.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for the news. That's it. What do you got? What do you got planned this weekend?
Well, it is freezing cold outside. It is going to be like
5 degrees tomorrow.
It'll be 5 degrees tomorrow. So I was going to go out. I don't know if I'm going to go out anymore because I don't like being cold like that. So probably going to play some more Hi-Fi Rush. Probably not going to be playing some GoldenEye. So, yeah. How about you?
Well, I would tell you this. You still have your PlayStation Plus subscription, right? It's still,
I believe so, yeah.
Go on there right now after the show
Mm-hmm.
and go in and claim all the games on PS Plus collection because Sony said they will be getting rid of it.
That's right. That's right.
And all you got to do is just claim it. It will always be there.
You can always get it. Yeah.
You can always get it. Mm-hmm. And remember, they did the collection. It was like for early adopters of the PS5. And also, the zombie apocalypse was out, and they wanted you to stay home, stay indoors. So they gave you an offer of all of these, AAA games, fairly recent. They weren't brand new, but fairly recent AAA games like the original God of War, 2018 God of War.
Yep.
I think he even had Mortal Kombat 11 on there as well. And
okay.
It had a bunch of games from third parties and first party. Horizon. For not Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn was on there as well.
Yep.
Like all you got to do is claim all of those, so you can always have them in your library forever, as long as you have a membership, and then you can download it. So I told you I bought my friend, well, one of my clients. Well, I'm his client. For Christmas, he bought his son a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I did? I kept shipping him games. And he was like, you should play this game. You should play this game.
Nice.
And I told him to subscribe to PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. So I called him and I said, listen, you got to, tell your son to claim these games before you won't be able to claim them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
telling you, Dave, do that too.
I'll get on there. It's a good little PSA. It's not just for me. It's for everybody. It's for the fans too. It's a nice little PSA. So there you go. All right. Well, that is episode 345 in the books, folks. We want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G4 Gamers. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.